Good afternoon and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We are live in the Carnation Crafts studio, and as always, it's wonderful to have your company. Thank you for joining us again. I know lots of you have been receiving your Tides of Colour dies this morning from your postman, which is very, very nice, or post lady, and you're going to be able to craft along, which is very exciting, Miss Towers. It's very, very exciting. Carnation pick, pack and post the minute that you purchase, so that means that you're literally getting this usually the day after, so long as you get it before the afternoon post or the last post of the day. Tides of Joy is what we're bringing you this week. We're on the second Tides of Colour. I don't know, I said to you a minute ago, didn't I? Why have I got Tides of Joy stuck in my head? I honestly don't know where it's come from. Tides of Colour 240302. We are on second day of launch. This is the last live show from the Carnation studio. If you wish to purchase this from Carnation, now's your last day on live while we're doing it. It will remain for you to be able to collect at this price, but the price is going to go up to $149.99 at the end of the week. So it is the time to buy it while it's on show price of $134.99. Free UK P&P. What's Tide of Colour all about? What does it signify? What is it, going to do for our crafting? Well, it's all of the summer elements, isn't it? It's the gift of giving, it's celebration, it's birthdays, it's anniversaries, it's celebrating your friends, it's celebrating your relationships, and it's also celebrating all of the colour and the passion that we see coming through with the vignettes and the artwork that's been designed in-house by the team at Carnation Crafts. So it's always going to be top notch. There is a QR code at the bottom of your screen which you can scan with the camera on your phone. That'll take you straight to the product, so you can go straight to it and purchase from there rather than having to scroll. If you find it easier to do it the older way, you can go to the website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk, and find it on the website there. You'll also find free artwork, and you'll find free backgrounds and free inserts as well for your card making needs.
We like that word.
What's that?
Free.
We do like the word free, Miss Towers. We enjoy the word free. So 240302 for your Tides of Colour. Now, I'm going to go through the boards with you in a second for it, but we have got alternatives for you to look at, or additions for you to look at with this. The one that is going super, super fast, and if you do want to grab it from Carnation, I'd probably say now's the time, is your nested tidal shapes, which is here. It's stunning. This is a really, really strong piece of engineered die technology, in as much as we are creating in a different way. So these have been designed to give you different visual impacts from what you would normally get. There's an extraordinary amount of metal in here. You get to create shapes like this. You can use them individually. You don't have to layer them up. You can use them as apertures, but each one is going to add something to the visual impact of your card. So they're really, really stunning. Gorgeous in white on white, right? They look really, really pretty. So don't forget to grab that in while you're grabbing your bundle. Remember, with Carnation, your bundle's always going to be the most value when you're buying it as a set instead of individuals. Your nested tidal shapes is 240313. You'll find that again on the website. Your dashed edge collection, Miss Tiztaz. These are stunning, aren't they? So these are your nested dies that we're bringing you today, and they are on the website for $139.99. And it just goes to show there exactly what I was saying when we say you get your value in your bundle, because if you buy these individually, it's going to be $167.94, but buy it as a collection, obviously it takes you down to $139.99. That's free UK P&P, because obviously we're over the £50 threshold. Always nice to know when you're getting your P&P free. If you're collecting your bundle and all your other pieces, don't forget to grab your perfect papers, the best friend for any collection that we bring you. The Tides of Colour papers are just extraordinary, beautiful, strong colours. You've got your fuchsia pinks in there, your lighter pinks, your greens. That's just a really strong set of papers, and it'll take you through all the cards that you make from now for a long, long time with this collection, where you'll be able to create stunning pieces of artwork yourself. 240321 for your perfect papers. Show price today $14.99, $2.95 UK P&B if you buy them individually. However, if you've obviously bought the bundle and you put the perfect papers in there, it'll take you over the £50 threshold, meaning your postage is free. So how many of you at home have had the joy of actually cutting out a vignette with one of those metal dies? Yes, Miss Tiztaz.
Eileen has just messaged saying whilst we were off air between shows, her collection arrived.
we likey. It matters. I don't know how to phrase that better, but it matters. We've handed over our money. We do want it to come quickly. So I'm joyful for you that you've got it today, because it means a lot. I know I like things to arrive, you know, sort of promptly. It makes us feel secure, right? So, tides of colour. We're going to have a look at the boards. We're going to go through and we're going to look at some finished samples, give you a bit more inspiration, and then we are going to demo for you. The Tides of Colour collection consists of your main floral gatefold card shape, and it's beautiful. So you get this whacking great big die that spans the whole of this board here. And that's your main card shape that creates the gatefold. It incorporates a score line going down the two panels here, so you can fold it with the greatest of ease. No need for you to measure or do anything else. Carnation have taken care of all of the work for you. Added to that, we get mats and layers for every single panel. You get these beautiful cutout holes on the side, these semicircles, which look extraordinary. We're going to show you lots of examples of those. Decoupage flowers, these can be used to build up onto your floral panel, or they can be used individually. So you can build in, you can use them as tuck-ins, so they've got more than one value to them. And then you've got your main floral panel, which is exquisite both in colour and in design, versatile to the point of ridiculous. There's so much you can do with this. There's so many ways of cutting it, so many ways of shaping it out and making different elements to it. You could indeed fold this in half, just free the pip lines around this floral, fold it in half, maybe cut it 2 or 3 times, and that actually would create a beautiful card base, wouldn't it, just as it is there. Lots of decoupage elements for you to build up, so you can really give it texture and give it weight, which we really like. Or again, as I said, individually you can use them as tuck-ins, you can build them as bouquets, you can do an awful lot of things just with those florals. So this is going to be really, really versatile. Pop one of your dies if you've been lucky to get the nested dies. Maybe put one of the circles in the middle there, cut round this, so you've got a perfect circle for your card. Lots and lots of different playways. So easy to use, versatile, and a gift that literally keeps on giving. You've got your slimline numbers here, beautiful, elegant, long slimline numbers. All your ordinals at the bottom there, each with its own matte layer, so that you know that you can show stop them if you want. You can sort of fade them out if you just use the top line. It's up to you which one you want to do. It really is a beautiful set of numerals, and we need them in card making. They're really important. They give us a lot of impact on our cards, so you're going to really be able to go to town with those. Great for cake toppers too. Your textured scribbles. Awesome pieces, your textured scribbles. These give you all of the background details that you could possibly want. Really pretty. They add an extra oomph to the work that we do, and they give a massive impact on the background of your cards. And by that, what I mean is drawing in your visuals, so you get this really, really strong structure at the back of the card there. All of the elements sitting on top are sort of almost pushed forward because your eye is separating your background sheet to your textured scribbles forward to the elements that are on it, so it almost makes them jump and pop off the actual card shape. That's why these things are so important. Yes, when you look at it, it might not be the most intricate as far as artwork is concerned, but they're just as vital. Thinking out loud, you've got your speech bubbles here, both the square one and the cloud formation. Layers on top of each one, so you can layer them up if you want to, don't have to. You've still got all of your artwork for them, and like we say, we've got the sort of bubbled cloud formation and then your classic speech bubble as well. I think they tend to do it that that's the speech and that's the thought bubble, so you've got both of them going through. You've got your classic cuppa here, gorgeous design with that gilded handle, the gilding around the edge, and your silver, your gold spoon as well. So all of those elements coming through. I love the little bead detail around the bottom as well, the shade lines coming through. Cut into it, you can put flowers in it. We've seen cards with the teddy sitting inside the cup. You could do that with having floral tuck-ins around the bottom of it. Lots of different ways of playing with these. These are just stunning pieces. Your medicine bottle. Are we sending get well cards? This is why this bundle is so important. If you take this bundle independently on its own and say that this is the only die set that you own, you're pretty much going to be able to make a card for any occasion just on this. And it's why it's so important. Tides of Colour is just an extraordinary collection with a lot of value for all your different card making. So when we see the medicine bottle there, that can be obviously a get well soon. It can be, you know, different things for different seasons, different things for different occasions. So you've got your bottles here now as well, so we can have your celebration. This is your great vintage, so you've got 3 different colorways, your green, your pink and your purple. Doesn't matter what kind of cardstock you're using at the back, and it doesn't matter which vignettes you use, it's going to match. It's always going to be a perfect partner to it. And I love that. It makes card making simple when the colors are taken care of. Beautiful artwork as well, isn't it? Really pretty. Then from there, you've got your towering tulips, which I love so much. Your towering tulips are pretty, pretty, pretty. You can decoupage these up. You can leave it exactly as it is. You can use tuck-in florals behind it to create a great big bloom, or indeed cut away the tulips and add different florals if you want, and just use the vase as your key point. Up to you. And you've got your matte layer there to really showstop it. Your fuzzy friend with his lovely tummy. Look at that detail around his tummy. So you can shape him out. I actually just love his silhouette here as well. I think that's gorgeous just for your matte layer. You can still tell exactly what this is, can't you? But his little hands are welcoming you in for a hug, saying, come and let me make you feel better. So if you've got a stamp that says warm hug, something like that, Carnation are providing you with sentiments. So you can choose to cut this as a plain element to stamp on, or you can have them that are already printed with different sentiments there for you, so you can use them in different ways. Get those all cut out and ready to be used. If you've got all of those sentiments cut and ready, you can have them in bags for all of your card making needs. Pile of presents. Miss Tiz Taz likes a pile of presents, don't you? You love your birthday, don't you, Miss Taz? So you've got your pile of presents here. She does. Why are you saying that? What? You just said, well, I thought you were going to interrupt me. I said you like your pile of presents. So you've got this here, you've got your tall present, and then you've got your 2 shorter ones. You can decoupage these, you can cut into them, you can do various other things with them. Depends really what you're planning on doing as far as your visual effect is concerned. How do you want your composition to be, and where are you going to take it for your end result? But with that floral panel that comes in the main shape, those presents sitting on top, just on top of that floral panel, are stunning because the colours all work together. So that's there for you. This is your Tides of Colour collection on the Carnation Crafts website. 240302. $134.99 is your show price today. That price is going to go back up at the weekend, I think, or at the end of the week. To $149.99, so you want to grab hold of it while you can. If you buy each individual element, it will be a combined price of $177.90. So you're definitely beneficial getting this as a bundle rather than individually, and especially while we've got your launch price with 10% discount. So I hope that helps you all. Although it sounds like a lot of you have got it in your paw already and you are playing to your heart's content, which I love. I'm hoping that we're going to be crafting together. Now, we've got different elements to show you on today's show as well. We've talked to you briefly about them, but I want to show you the boards for them. So you've got some playway to go through, and then we're going to start showing you some finished samples. Before I start with the Dashed Edge Nested collection, though, I would like to show you, and I'm going to show you this example again. I'm going to keep showing you this example because I love it so much. This shows you what you're getting for your Dashed Edge. So when we're looking at those, you're getting this incredibly stunning detail. And that's why these are so important, because those smooth lines that are coming through, that are creating that visual point for us, they matter. They're beautiful, beautiful dies. And this is a full set of nested, which means no matter what card you make, no matter what shape you need, it's covered by this collection. 240314, the Dashed Edge collection on the Carnation Crafts website. Show price of $139.99 with free UK P&P. Individually bought, they'll be $167.94 if you want to buy all of them, so it is better to get it while they're on a bundle. QR code at the bottom if you want to scan it, your Dashed Edge Nested. So when we look at the boards then, what does that mean for our crafting? What are we getting? What does it look like? So just to exemplify it, all of your layers here, each one is one of those die cuts for you. You can see the detailing coming through with the line work and then the dashes as well. You've also got your centerpieces, which can be used for sentiments and for various other things that you may want to put on. So they could just be design elements, or they could be layered up for sentiment pieces. So don't forget to use the midpoints as well. But all your mats and layers, your apertures are taken care of. Different layers are taken care of. Easel cards are all easy to make with these as well, especially when it comes to into your circles. Your easels are just a breeze with these, and every time you're going to get beautiful detailing. It's just a stunning edge on them, really, really pretty. And when we showed you that mirror cardboard version of it, you can really see it shining through, and you can see your lines coming through here as well. It's got a sort of a soft edge, like a distressed edge to each die as well. So your card shape isn't just a straight square or a straight rectangle. It has this really beautiful, soft, almost, we said yesterday, truffled edge. It's a really pretty edge to them. You've got your DL, beautiful shape, elegant designs. We will make a card with the DL today, so you will see that in design, because I don't think we've done one yet. So you're going to see that through the demos. Following from that, you've got your square rectangle, which dashed edge, so sorry. Goodness me, Miss Taz, too many words all at once. You've got your dashed edge rectangle label, square label, and your rectangle there as well. Aren't they pretty? I love those two shapes. And I think that already has taken your cards to the next level. So some sentiments on there and a couple of the Carnation vignettes on top of it. You are good to go. You'll make extraordinary cards with the greatest of ease. And I think that's it's a confidence boost when we know that every card we make is going to be a lovely thing to give, to receive, and to sell. Those things are always nice, aren't they? Your dashed edge nested die shapes, 240314. You'll find them on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. One final element that we've got, which is flying, which is your nested, I'm going to get this wrong, nested tidal shapes. One of the most exquisite set of dies I have seen in just ages. I love it. I have fallen madly in love with this set. So we use them as apertures, we can use them as layers. The card next to it exemplifies that. So you can see it all coming together, but when they come through for apertures as well, man, they're pretty. Layered apertures are very easy to create with these shapes. You can see those on yesterday's show. It was the second show that we did. Well, it shows you exactly how to make your layered apertures. $27.99, $2.95 UK P&P, 240313. Those are selling fast. I think by the end of the week you'll see those either sell out or go to extended. So just to be aware, if you want to get hold of those now, you want to start playing with them as soon as possible. If I'm going to phrase it maybe in the wrong way, you're going to get in before the hobby maker crowd get in. So today's the day to do it. You can get it on the Carnation Crafts website, and also your P&P will only be $2.95 if you're just buying those on their own, so it's cheaper again. So that is your nested tidal shapes for you there. So that's everything that you've got that's available to purchase as far as the bundles are concerned today. So tides of colour, and then obviously your nested and your nested tidal shapes as well. So that's everything there. Obviously on Carnation Crafts website, you can get all your adhesives that you'll see me use today. You'll also be able to get your cardstock for your card bases, such as your 350 GSM smooth. Some of the samples that I'll show you today will be using blush papers. So if you see something that's just slightly tone on tone, off-white, that's your blush papers. Anything like that can be found on the Carnation Crafts website. There is a shop there for you to buy whatever you choose. So go and have a peruse. One other thing to say as well, because I know we've got various events coming up. If you wish to purchase gift vouchers, you can get two options on the Carnation Crafts website. One is a like an emailed version, an e-gift card, and you can choose the amount that you're putting in for them. And the other alternative for your gift certificate is to have it actually posted out to you. So if that's something that you want to do in order to get your gifts ahead of time, absolutely do. Yes, Miss Tistas?
We do them in £10, 25 and 50 for either option.
There you go. So it's just a nice way of getting a present. It's quite an easy way of getting a present for somebody as well, but it's always going to be gratefully received. It's also a great hint for you to give to your family, to be able to say, look what Carnation do. Look at these. Who'd have thunk? Right, so let's start having a look at some finished samples for you here. So you can see the design work. You can see all of the detail coming through on Carnation's artwork and how you're going to be able to craft with these when you get home. That's your tidal shapes there that are coming through on that corner element. Lots of playway for you. We've got this from the gorgeous Pam Simpson, who's just utilised something very clean and simple, hasn't she? But again, when we start to see those textured scribbles, you see how those backgrounds become really, really important, really, you know, beautiful pieces, aren't they? So just scooching through these finished samples for you so you can see various different ones in different forms. This is your main card shape. So this is your beautiful floral gatefold card shape. It's been utilised with some of those nested dies for your dashed edge, and that's going to give it that beautiful aperture on the inside for your floral panel, and then closed up you can use your extra detailing there. Really pretty card, isn't it? You'd be so chuffed to get that in the post because it's just really, really lovely to look at. I want to show you some of the slimline numbers so you can see those and how they form, because they're really, really elegant pieces. And I love that so much. Really elegant, aren't they? Strong, slimline, but they don't take over the card. That's still very clean spaces there, and it still works very harmoniously together, even though you're filling in your white space with those numbers, because they're slim, they're slimline. Sorry, Miss Taz, I'm destroying the set in ways you can't even begin to imagine. Going from there, we have got your build-up here. I love that card. That's Vera Bow. Beautifully designed, and actually a really great example of how to use lots of these vignettes together. So we have the slimline numbers, you've got your floral panel, your gatefold card shape, you've got your bottle, your great vintage, and then you've got your towering tulips, your pile of presents. So lots has been used here. You've still got your dashed edge nested as well, and you've got your sentiments coming from your fuzzy friend. So that's an awful lot of those dies used together. Collectively, they create something absolutely spectacular. It's always a lovely idea when we're making cards to be able to cut out lots of the elements in advance so we can pick and choose as we go through what we would like to use in the next pieces that we've got. Janine Dawson has provided us with this little beauty. I love that because it's very pared back, isn't it? We're not overloading the card at all, but it means so much. And we said earlier in the show that the Feel Better, or in the early show, in the Feel Better could actually say anything. It could say, you know, happy wedding day. It could say happy anniversary. It could be a million things, couldn't it? We don't have to have it as a specific thing. It's not like you're looking at that going, that can only be a Feel Better card. It can be many things. Vera Bro here, bringing in those apertures with her dashed edge collection. And then using Fuzzy Friends with the matte layer. And so I wanted to show you this specifically because your matte layers are always important. You can see how he then stands out from the coloured florals behind him because he's got the drop shadow of white, if you like, underneath him, the outline, or it almost looks like a bleed line, doesn't it? But it makes him stand out and pop, and then he's got that gorgeous, gorgeous little speech bubble there, which just says hugs to you. I'm sending you hugs. That's sometimes a nice card to receive. Just saying I'm thinking about you, I miss you, I hope you want a hug, here is a hug. See Dalrymple here. I love that. The tidal shapes with those floral panels are just exquisite when paired together. Really stunning detailing. I think the DT team have just knocked it out of the park. It's just really gorgeous to look at the details that they've done. I'm just trying to lean over here because I want to get this sample, which is a similar in colour tone, but used very differently. So sorry, Taz, just to bring them side by side. Similar elements used. We're using the tidal shapes there. We're using the similar colour panel, and we've got obviously the floral panel that sits at the back, both utilised but used in very different ways. Two completely different cards, but actually you're using the same elements. So the minute you get this home today, you are able to make both of those cards very, very easily, and just they're gorgeous, aren't they? Really, really pretty. So your nested tidal shapes, just to let you know, because it is going so fast, 240313, show price of £27.99, £2.95 UK P&P. That's if you're on the fence, that's the one I would just grab hold of first and foremost, because I think it'll be the one to sell out the fastest. Woof, Miss Tiztaz. All of the words, there's so many words. Shall we go to a demo, Miss Tiztaz? She's showing me something that I need to read.
No, I was just going to say that people are messaging you again.
Oh, that's exciting. Hello. Did you have a nice break to you all?
Over on Facebook, Fran saying hi. I want to say Yolanda, I'm so sorry if I've got that wrong. We've got Eileen, we've got Linda, Serenity, Alison, Jane saying lovely collection, just had to buy it.
Sometimes you just got to do the things, Jane. Just got to do the things.
Suzanne saying good afternoon. Karen Slade is giving us an update on her cruise.
Ooh, Karen, where are we now? What's happening?
She's now in Penang. Penang.
This is like it's like watching Emmerdale. Like we get updates of where you are, and Taz and I just sit here jealously listening to your cruise and loving every minute.
And she's, yeah, just travelling all over. I'm so jealous. Then we've got Sunal, who's saying good morning. Is this a new collection?
It is absolutely a new collection. It launched yesterday. This is launch week. So Carnation now has one launch week a month for the main collection, for a large collection, if you like. And this is this month's offering. It's beautiful. It's so pretty. And it's just bright and vibrant. It celebrates summer. It celebrates your friends. It celebrates the relationships you have in your life. It just celebrates all elements of joy, doesn't it? Passion, all of those things coming together. It's vibrancy, it's energy, it's motivation. It's all sitting there in a set of cards. And I love it. I absolutely love this die set. It's been a real pleasure to craft with. And when Taz and Dave arrived yesterday, the first thing I said to them is, this has just been a joy. I think that's why I've got tides of joy in my head. I said to Taz yesterday and to Dave, this has just been a joy to work with from beginning to end. Real pleasure to make demos for it because it's so different. It's so wonderful. And the colours are just... The colours keep you motivated, I think. That's the best way I can phrase it from my weird, foggy little brain, is to say that all the way through I wanted to do more with it. Right, let's have a look at this DL card shape, which I love so much. I've always been a fan of DLs. I think the shaping of them, there's something about them. I love the elongation of it and the kind of panoramic view we have on a card shape, which is really pretty. So I've got my red liner tape at 1/2 inch, so I've scored there and I'm going to put it across. So just taking this away, pull that down, shuffle and place. Okay, so that's there. Somebody asked me where I got my pokey tool from in the last show. I will be totally straight with you. I got this from Carnation. I don't know that they still have them though. They may not anymore, but I did originally about 3 years ago get this from Carnation. So it's an oldie but goldie and I love it very, very much. And I keep it next to me in the studio at all times. So just to let you know, I don't think they sell them anymore. Right, I'm just going to place this down. Look at that fuchsia pink. Beautiful and vivid and bright. Take that from there. And those gorgeous, I love, love, love the dotted on the perfect papers. Really pretty. So for those of you who've got your collections already, have arrived while I'm placing these down, did any of you buy with it the perfect papers? And if so, have you had a little joyous sneaky peek yet? Because they're really pretty. You're going to love them. Right, I have taken my floral panel for this one. And I've cut it in half, square in half, okay, because I'm going to use my tidal shape for it. Now, for me personally, I feel like the pink here is disappearing into the pink here. And I don't really want it to do that. I want it to sing and shout because I love it so much. But I want to maintain the border on my white piece. And I feel like I'm losing something a little bit with the colour on colour. So the way I've got round that is I've kept the piece that I cut from my tidal shape and I kept it and I'm going to sneak it behind. Now I can't really just place it and hold, so what I'm going to do is work from the back of my piece. So what I'm going to do is lay out some wet glue onto my desk here. Now you can cut a bigger piece and cut round it. I could also just cut another rectangle if I wanted to and place it behind, but waste not want what. Now, you know, I've got that piece, I may as well use it here. So I'm just going to place through a little bit of adhesive around the edge of where I'm working first. So just go through, working around the shape. I'm not too worried about the rest of the card because it's going to get pinned anyway, so it's not going to be a problem to me. So now that I've got that, I'm just going to place this on here. Make sure it's adhered so I can pinpoint it. Okay, Now I can see the shape that I've formed through those florals. So I can now use that floral panel where the flowers are behind to glue that to it. So I'm going to get that white background. And the reason I'm doing it, so like I say, I could cut 2 rectangles, and obviously the thought process being, well, wouldn't that be easier? Yeah, probably it would be easier. It would mean it would align a lot better, but I've still got this piece, and though I could use it for another card, why not utilize what you've got in your hand? It makes sense to me that I make the most of the piece that I've cut, because oftentimes, as we know with crafters, things like this sometimes we just end up putting it in the bin because we're like, oh, we'll cut another one when I need it. And rather than waste, I do like to use what I can, where I can. So I'm just going to visually eye this up. Now, when you've got more time to do this, you can, of course, really go for it. I'm just interested in giving myself a white background to that panel and maintaining my framing with my mats and layers. So when I turn that over, I've now got this really lovely paneling out, and it's really, really sweet and really, really pretty. Okay, so it's just an alternative way of doing it. Like I say, there is the element there where you can, of course, you can just cut another one. I just don't like wasting stuff, and I've got a tendency when I'm clearing up at the end of a project to just be like, well, I kind of need to just clear, and I've got 60 billion baskets of scrap papers, and I tend to end up ignoring them. So this way I use it while I'm utilising it, but you'd need to just make sure you've taken the time to really place it correctly. You can see I've got a little gap at the top, but if you take the time, you'll get that absolutely perfect. So that sits there. Those tidal nested shapes are just exquisite, aren't they? What a beautiful way to display that panel. And it also gives me visually a lot of white space to work on as well. So it means I've got a place to build all of the rest of my demo, my presents here. Now, if I use those cut lines and I bend these gifts back onto themselves, that's going to give me some scope for dimension. I can also Z fold them, so if I place that one forward and that one behind, it's also going to give me a different shaping out, which means I can fill the little pockets in different ways to give that present a different shape. What I'm going to do with it is stick my V line there, so I'm sort of sat with that V, but this one will remain flat. That's going to be my anchor, just here. And then this will be where I put my silicone gel glue, just to build height into that little line midsection there, and that will maintain that shape, but this is going to anchor that gift down just there, and that will then stay nicely with that shaping coming forward. Just gives it more of a 3D edge. Then I've got my little fuzzy friend. Just take a quick ball tool around his forehead. That's probably a little big. Just pulling it round, and then around his nose, just around his face here and on his tummy, just to give him a little bit of definition there. Take his head, pull it forward, and that will separate the body and the head in shape. Silicone gel glue there, and I'm just going to place him over that anchored present. Pop his head there, so we've got all the dimension going through. You can see the dimension coming through where we have bent that shape and allowed it to sit with that sort of shaping coming forward. And then quite simply, well done, Miss Taz. Over your first finger, pull, and then below your thumb, pull. And that's going to give you the wavy edge shape really easily. And just manipulate it, and then where you've got the curvature in the dip here, I'm going to put my silicone gel glue a little thicker and just a little bit there for adhesion. That will allow it to maintain that shape into his pores, so you've got that flow and movement from that moving. Well done, Miss Taz. Cute as a button, isn't he? Really sweet, easy cards. That tidal shape, the tidal nested shapes, honestly, the things you're going to do with that, the playways you're going to have with that are going to be extraordinary. Taking them back even to different card shapes that you've got. And I will give a brief nod to Orchard Outing, because those fruit shapes that you have there on those panels that you get in Orchard Outing, again, same thing as the floral panel here, when you use those nested tidal shapes on there, they're going to be extraordinary with those gorgeous oranges coming through on that colorway as well. So really take these to town. There's no wonder they sold so well, because I think people at home can visually see, well, I'm going to be able to create all of the things here, and I think it's a really important little aspect. I want to show this one again because I want to show you the textured scribbles. I think giving this a highlight, that card, because it's got the two panels behind it, so we see it really, really come together, and how important they are just as a visual aspect is really pretty, isn't it? Just pushing everything forward. Never underestimate the power of a background piece, the power of a textured background piece. Now, the reason they're so important, of course, is they're going to help you make the most extraordinary cards. Our DT team had a load of fun with this, and so did I, and there's a video here showing you exactly what they were able to make with this whole collection. They're gorgeous, aren't they? Really beautiful cards that the DT have made, and it's just a joy to watch them, to look at them, to see them come to life, and then to know that you're going to be making exactly the same kind of things when you get this home yourself. Some of you already with it in your hands. This is Tides of Colour Collection. It's on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk 240302. I've got to tell you, the quickest way to go there is the QR code, because it really does just take you straight to the item. Combined price, buy all of these individually. Feel free to pop all of these into your bag individually, but you will pay £177.90. What I would be doing is buying it while it's on launch, and so you're getting it for £134.99 because you get that 10% discount, which we likey. End of the week, it's going to go back up to £149.99. So you've only got this week to get it at this low price. We have also got for you the nested tidal shapes. We just played with it a moment ago, so you've seen it working. They are stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning pieces. Very exciting die set. I've got to tell you, very exciting die set. 240313. Show price today, $27.99, $2.95 UK P&P. I can't wait to see what you guys make with these. It is such an extraordinary die set, and you are going to have the best time. From there, we've got your stunningly beautiful dashed edge nested dies. These, again, going to be a huge boon. Nested dies, always your most important dies. 240314. Every single card base that you need to make in the future for any kind of occasion, you've got it in your hand. Any mats and layers that you want to make, you've got it in your hand. Any sentiment holders that you need, you've got it in your hand. These are the importance of nested dies. Do you want to create layered apertures? Well, there you go. Do you want to create layers? Well, there you go. Everything you need is in nested dies. $139.99. Free UK P&P, combined price separately, $167.94. So you are better with this version of it. Get your QR code at the bottom. It'll take you straight to it. If you want to find it on the website, 240314. Do work with all your other nested dies as well, if they're the same sort of shapes, so they'll all work together, so you can really mix and match and get those gorgeous textured edges that we looked for in our card bases. So really beautiful crafting. It's a joy to work with nested. I always love working with them, just because it gives us a really nice even finish, doesn't it? Visually we get that really strong finish. Let's have a look at some finished samples. I'm going to show you this one again because I love it. Janine. She's such a corker, is our Janine. What a star. We do love her very much. All of the DT are incredible. Janine is head DT, just while I'm sorting these samples out to show you. Janine is our head DT, and she leads the team very elegantly, we have to say. She is a very, very clever human being with incredible skills in the card making field. So a joy to learn from. Right, so now that we've seen that, we're just going to have a look at some more. This is the gorgeous Pam Simpson has created this for us. There you go. Look at that. Clean lines. Love those clean lines on that card. Those textured scribbles just add in that visual cue to what we see. So important. Apertures. Never underestimate your apertures. They're always pretty. Vera Bow, different. It gives a card a different identity when we use apertures. It makes us look at it in a different way because it provides us with a visual cue into something. Janine here with those clean lines again. Feel better. Could be any card for any time. Really, really pretty. We've got Barbara Treadwell here, bringing in our fuzzy friend with the champagne or the wine or the rosé or whatever drink you think it might be, along with your towering tulips and your pilot of presents with those numbers as well. So you're seeing the whole collection sort of come to life, pop into life. Love that, with that panel behind those nested dashed edge dies. Excuse me, really, really beautiful. And I love the pokey, the fact that you can see that peeking through, and when that card is closed, that's the power of a mirrored vignette. That's the power we have with Carnation to create, because we've got an image on both sides of the die cut that we have. So it just creates different views, doesn't it? Really, really beautiful. So we're going to have a look at some more demonstrations for you as we're going through. I'm just making sure I'm following. Miss Taz has given me a list. I'm just making sure I'm following it correctly. Am I right, Miss Taz?
Yep.
She's looking at me like, let's do another demo before I get into trouble. So we're going to work with the square edge here, just the square base. So if you want to see the main card shape, the gatefold card shape, I have done a demo of that in every single show for this launch. I'm not going to do it in the last show today because we have seen it in every single one. I will do more demonstrations with it on Hobby Maker tomorrow. So please feel free to either go back to watch those previous shows or to join us tomorrow on Hobby Maker, where you'll see this collection on air there as well. So 1/2 inch score. Red liner tape, fold it back, shuffle it towards itself, place. Card base done and dusted. Then we've got our mats and layers coming through. Look at that colour. It's really pretty. It's like a calico, isn't it? Very pretty colour. Pull that halfway. I'm working on a 3mm foam tape, so that's just giving me a little bit of height. Get it as even as I can. Push and pull. And then just my white tone on top. So just one mat on this one. I haven't gone to 2, I've just gone to 1. I want the colour of the vignette to absolutely shoot off the page with this. I'm actually going to turn this way because I'm about to cover that corner. There's a little mark. Just place that there. Ooh, way up. My brain does not do things backwards. Right, so let me look at my elements that I've got here so we can bring this in. Your floral panel. We've shown this in all of the demonstrations that we've been doing, but your floral panel offers you a really, really extraordinary way of crafting, in as much as I can take a corner element and use whichever part of it suits my crafting need. And I love, love, love that for me. So thank you very much. So I can snip into this. Let's do a corner, because I think corners are super pretty. Now, depending on where I want to cut, obviously I've been cutting into this one already, but depending on where I want to cut, I can choose areas. For instance, if I want this floral to be like in this corner, I can go, well, where do I want to cut it? Where do I want my corner to end? So I'm just going to cut away that little piece there. So I'm starting on that yellow, and I'm going to sort of work into a diagonal. So let's go from where we've got there. I'm just going to snip around this leaf. Now you would take more time than I am, but I'm just going to snip round and just bend around that floral. So really cut round, use your pip marks, they're going to help you, and you just keep going until you've got the size of corner that you want. I'm going to take a bit more from here, and from here, work into here, snip round, and then I can choose to have as much foliage as I choose. Now I did already cut this out specifically for where I want it to be, but I did want to show you the process and also the way that these then become your own card, you know, your own panel in a way that you want them to be as well is stunning. But then we've created a corner, and I think they're so strong visually, these corners that we're creating from this panel. The one I'd cut previously, which I have done specifically for this demo, is this corner, which I believe is one of the top corners. And just to show you that on the actual main piece, where did I get this one from? Let's match it, let's match it.
Turn it around again.
There you go, Miss Taz.
No, turn it like that.
Eh?
There
you go.
And then
there's that corner. So that's the corner that I've used is here. So it depends where you want to go, where you want to flow, how you want it to be, but it's really, really pretty. Then we get options, don't we? Do I want it to be in that corner? Would I like it to be here? Do I want it to be a canopy? So, and I love it in the top corner. I've got to tell you, visually, I think that's so strong. Which one do we want it to be? Where do we want it to be? And I love them as those canopies flowing into the picture because it's got that lovely flow line coming through it. So I'm actually going to stick with it up there, which I really, really like. And I'm just going to go in with a little bit of wet glue, not too much now. Place down. Push my adhesion. Just coming through. Remember, you can add adhesion, you can't take it away once it's in and it's on. You're sort of stuck with where you've put it, so go steady. But I can add it. And just placing there. Gorgeous. I've got all of these panels stuck to my jumper, Miss Taz. All right, so if I just place those over there. So I've got my canopy set to go, and now it's how I choose to fill it. Now you've got decoupage elements with this already. So your decoupage elements are seated and cut. I'm stuck to all sorts here. So you can choose to just use those. You can choose to cut more from your actual panel to decoupage maybe a whole corner or something along those lines. And just to explain what I mean by that is, if I didn't, just say for instance, I didn't want to cut the panel anymore and I wanted to use one of my main florals, it actually comes with a stem and I can use that to maybe fill the teacup, for instance, or I could maybe use it in Ted's hand, something along there. But what I can do is just snip away that stem and I can just pull that edge piece, take my board, actually I'll flow it the other way so it cups upwards, work from the outside, use those cut lines to my advantage, work to a spiral to the center so that I'm bowling that out, and then I can use that as my decoupage element on here. So I've got it seated. So I'm using it in different ways. So just play with your elements so you've got it exactly how you want it to be. Decoupage that out so that my corner takes on a little extra oomph. Really pretty. I love decoupage. I don't think I'll ever get sick of seeing decoupage. I think it's super beautiful. Now I've got that pile of presents that we used in the last demo as well, and I'm going to use it at this side because my height is already defined over there, so I don't want to interfere with that. So I'm going to use this over at this side because I don't want to overwhelm it. So taking in some wet glue, no shaping on this one. Little bit of wet glue, top, bottom, where I need it. Let's anchor this down into this corner with that grounding device. One thing that this nested set is really, really useful for, and actually it's a cue to the crafter as opposed to even visually, although it is a cue visually, where you're seeing this at the bottom, there's a line on that dashed edge, great for grounding things out visually for you. It's going to give me a little white border at the bottom, but I can utilize those lines when I'm crafting to go, that's my grounding, that's where I want the ground to be. So I can get everything in a straight line that goes across it, and that's really useful for us because it means that we're not getting it off even by a few millimeters. It will sit flat on that line. So to have a registered anchor line for us visually is really useful. From there I've got my cup, my beautiful cup here. I love this. I'm going to place it next to it, just slightly over this present, so I'm just working my grounding through, but again, using that grounding device. This is on a 5mm foam tape, so a little bit higher than the rest that I've been using. I want the chunk from it, and I want it to rise above everything that's on that page as we've got it yet. And I'm going to seat it near the center, just over that midline on that side present, using my grounding device there, just to place it in, so I've got the height, so you can see the shadow play, and that's why I want to do it with the cup more than anything else, because I want that shadow below the handle of the cup, because it makes it look like it's pushed forward. But I do want to add an element onto this present, so the last thing that I'll do with this is decoupage my present up, this time with a 5mm. I've cut away the 2 side panels for this one, and I'm just going to place this and decoupage on top to give myself really beautiful depth and dimension to a very simple card, but that I think is really delicate, really pretty, and just something very sweet to look at. And I'd love to receive cards like those. I think they're really pretty, and they just give a little bit of oomph, don't they? A little bit of dimension. Foam tape's going to take you a long way, and your decoupage elements on those florals too, just super sweet to look at. We have got, obviously, a limited time with you left now for today's show, and it's the last live show you'll find on the Carnation Crafts website for the Tides of Colour collection. 240302 on the Carnation Crafts website, $134.99, combined price $177.90, but your usual price, which is what it'll go to next week as a full bundle, is going to be $149.99. So 10% discount today, which is a huge amount of money. Free UK P&P. There is a QR code for you to just whip to there and go straight to that product. Don't forget to add in your your nested tidal shapes. There's all of the words in my head. Your nested tidal shapes, which is obviously selling super fast. You've also got your dashed edge collection, so that's 240314 for your nested dies there. Show price of $139.99, $167.94 if you buy them individually. Free UK P&P on those as well. And again, QR code at the bottom. There's so many options here today. Don't forget to pick up your perfect papers while you're there, because they're going to see you through. So we have got all of those elements for you. We've got everything that you need to buy on the website, all of your adhesives, all of your paper stock, everything that you need on there. I want to finish up today by looking at some more of the DT's finished samples. They've put an awful lot of work into these. I would like to show you as many as possible. I think we've done most of them, but Miss Taz, are you able to pass me some from that side, because I can't reach over? I've got this next to me. Also, just to clear up from the last show, somebody was saying, Miss Taz said about, somebody was saying about the crack. Yeah, it's not a crack. It's where the 2 panels meet and there is a line where it goes down. It's not a crack. I promise you, we're all safe and sound. Not a crack at all. Just to clear that up, because a lot of you were focusing on it. So now you know. Right, we've got this here. Let's have a look at some apertures with your dashed edge. The circle. I love circle shapes. I love curves in crafting. There's something about it, something really kind of decadent about curves in crafting, and I think when you see those visually, they're so pretty. And I love the idea of using the pink floral, the big pink bloom in the center there, because that has also got a circular shape to it, so it somehow seems to be echoed then by the apertures that come around it. So pretty use of it. And I love the champagne bottle as the stopper for the card, because it's a really nice way of bringing it together but stopping it from rolling, which we don't always want to see happen. Barbara Treadwell here, using the clean and simple card base. To a very special friend, 30th birthday. You've got those slimline letters coming through in your pink perfect papers, your bottle of bubbly and your towering tulips, all seated to create something really stunning to look at. One that I love very much. It's a real simple design from Janine, but I really love the effect of it. Hugs to you, where he sat in those 3 teacups. It reminds me of the fairground, you know, the wee ride for the little babies where they sit in the teacups. It's got that kind of feel to it for me, and I love the fact that he's having such a lovely time in there with a little flower in his hand. And we should all walk around with a little flower in our hand, utilising 2 sentiments at once to bring in a full message, just to say I love you. Towering tulips. You've also got your floral panel there cut into, your 2 teddy bears all ready for action. So many different ways of playing with them. It's a really nice way of crafting. Textured scribbles. Lovely on white, aren't they? I love them in the mirror card, but I love them on white on white. White on white is such a powerful, strong message, I feel. 21st birthday. His little face. I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of seeing his little face. He's so happy. 21st birthday. Gorgeous dashed edge. Nested there. The use of the scribble again here. I really like that, actually. I've got to say, Miss Taz will laugh at me again here. When you're using that textured scribble in cards for the youngsters, it gives it a modern edge, right?
Oh yeah.
So it gives it a different modern look. She laughs at me because obviously she's like 12 or something, and I'm blatantly not, so yes, but to use it there to give it that modern pop, I really like it. I think it's really pretty, and I think it does change it down to a very modern kind of card base when you're using it like that. It's almost got like a firework display visual to it to me on that card. So bringing in then from Janine, I think that's possibly one of Miss Tiztaz's favourites. She has brought that to me and said how much she loves it. It's really pretty, fresh, simple card making, utilising not only the tulips in the towering form, but adding in the tuck-ins from that floral panel to allow you to tuck behind and create a bouquet that is literally bespoke to your desire. And that's the power of Carnation, isn't it? It's the power of what we see. Carnation will be coming to you on Hobby Maker tomorrow. We will be there at 2 o'clock for you, I believe. And that's going to obviously still be the Tides of Colour collection for you. Everything that we've brought you today, but on Hobby Maker. So for some of you, I know that you like to have the option for payment on there, and a different option for payment, should we say. And so some of you will be waiting for it to explode onto your screens tomorrow on Hobby Maker. For those of you who wish to shop with Carnation, today I think is, well, today is definitely the last day. This is the last live show of Tides of Colour in the Carnation Crafts studio for this launch week. It's been an absolute pleasure to have your company, it really has. Thank you so much for joining us and being so kind and supportive always. It does mean an awful lot, both to myself and to Miss Taz and to Carnation themselves, so huge thank you. We will see you tomorrow on Hobby Maker, and then
Tuesday.
am I not on Hobby Maker on Monday for the USB, Miss Taz?
I will have a look.
I think I am, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong many a time before.
I know for definite we're here on Tuesday because I will be here.
That's your next day in. I think I launch it on Hobby Maker on Monday.
1 and 5.
1 and 5, and then here on the Tuesday.
10.
So we've got lots of things happening for you next week as well. So you'll be able to see various different things. Please do look ahead on the Carnation Crafts calendar on their website, where it'll tell you everything that we've got going on, what's going to be coming up for you, and what you can see and where to view it. In the meantime, I want you to take really good care of yourselves. Stay safe. Big hugs to you all. Speak soon.